Hello, everybody out there in the world of Crispy Pro. That's a fantastic name. We love Crispy Pro. That is brilliant. Right, okay, so how was it returning to Doctor Who? Just unbelievable. I mean, 38 years ago. I mean, I know most of your followers will be thinking 38 years ago, cripes, I mean, last century. And it really was. I mean, I was born in 1956, which sort of puts me in a TARDIS anyway. But it was extraordinary because there's this sort of genius bloke called Charles Norton who came up with this idea about maybe, animating the unfinished stuff of Doctor Who that we'd done on SHADA. There have been various projects that have mounted to try and stitch together the stuff that we'd done before when we were hit by a strike back in 1979. Yeah, I know, last century. Yeah. 1979, long time ago, I was 23 years old. So, I mean, my youngest is older than I was at that time. And it was, I was such a huge Doctor Who fan. So for me to be the guest assistant with Tom Baker and Lalla Ward was a really big deal. And so when it was hit by the strike, that was really, it was horrible. It was awful. And we all felt terrible because we really, really got on well together. Even the bloke that played Skagra, the villain, Chris Neen, he was a terrific bloke and a great actor. We all, hey, that's my bell. That's my bell, but it's okay. So, yeah, it was great returning to the world of Doctor Who, and I couldn't believe that, they were actually going to do the stuff that Charles Norton said they were going to do, which was to do green screen and reanimate with the original cast that was still there, get them all together to actually do the show, do the scenes we hadn't done. Because when we finished doing SHADA, we'd actually gone on rehearsing all of the scenes in the rehearsal rooms at North Acton, where we all rehearsed, and just a bit of Doctor Who and BBC memorabilia. The top of North Acton, which was a giant rehearsal room, big block of flats really, but with no rooms in them, just big rehearsal spaces. But up top, every single show that was recorded by the BBC pretty well was rehearsed there. So it was brilliant fun, and Doctor Who was one of them. Anyway, so when Charles said, would you be interested in coming back to finish off SHADA, I just, leapt at it. Leapt at it. Because people over the years used to say to me, what was it like? And I said, it was just the most brilliant story. And Douglas Adams, the brilliant genius Douglas Adams, who was the script editor and writer who did Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and all those other last century shows. But, I mean, a real genius. And it was his last six-part Doctor Who. It was Tom Baker's six-part Doctor Who. And it was my first Doctor Who. And when I told all my friends I was in it, they all said, hey, that's fantastic. And then I had the real drag of actually saying to them, it's not going out. They went, yeah. I went, no, it's not. We've been hit by a strike and it's really awful because, A, I won't get any repeat. No. Won't get any overseas sale. No. Stop it. It was, a big deal for me. It really was. And so going back to the world of Doctor Who was fantastic. And I felt sort of crispy pro-legitimate. I felt, and when we all got back together in the studios, I was with Tom doing some recordings in Kent, nearby where Tom sort of hangs out. And so that was amazing. And it was just like sort of going back. Also, they had all the 2-inch original tapes that they used to record television programmes on. These were like gold dust in their day. And here they were. And they were plugging them in and showing us what we'd done 38 years ago. So I was watching me as a 23-year-old actor running up to record in the studio at Television Centre. I'm pointing to it because it sort of it actually isn't that way. It's probably that way. But, Television Centre, hello. Television Centre, it's incredible. And, there we were in the studio running up to record and, all right, counting down. Ralph Wilton doing the countdown. Right, okay, Daniel, Tom, here we go. And I thought, at the time when I was recording it, I felt so nervous. But actually, the truth was, I didn't look nervous at all. And that was sort of a bit odd, watching myself. And I kept thinking, that's me. Because I'd never seen it before. Not that bit running up. Anyway, so back to the question. What was it like? It was fantastic. Imagine going back to a playground that you were in 38 years ago, with all the best games, toys, rides, everything, all rolled into one day. And that's what going back to Doctor Who was really like. It was fantastic. And I'm so looking forward to seeing the actual finished product. Now, the next question is, describe what it was like seeing yourself as an animated character. Well, again, Charles Norton and the team of animators took huge trouble in working out, A, was my hair really this colour? B, well, what colour my eyes were. And they actually sent me the drawing of my eyes, saying, is this the colour of your eyes? Because we had a bet that it was, your eyes are brown. My eyes are not brown. They may look brown, they're not brown. They're sort of what we call hazel. Now, I don't know whether that's a last century word as well, but hazel. That's a sort of greeny, browny, bluey eyes. Basically, when the pupils dilate, they're brown, but they aren't. They're actually hazel. They didn't believe me. So I actually took a picture of both my eyes, very close up, like that, sent them to them, and they came back and said, we think we'll leave them the way they were. But actually the truth is, they did put a tiny little bit of green in as well. All these things can, when you're an actor and this is the relaunch of your career from 38 years ago, it's a big deal. Because this could be the difference between, me not getting past as a 23-year-old and being a 61-year-old and thinking, look at me acting there. Anyway, no, but they were very good about, making sure everything was right. And when we were doing all the green screen stuff in the studio, where they have a great big green all around you, you've probably seen it on, when they've been showing you clips of shows where they've got to do a lot of CGI, in the recordings to put the great sets in behind. The CGI was extraordinary. And there I was, rehearsing a scene on camera, which I'd rehearsed at North Acton, going back to that old question, the big rehearsal room in London, where the BBC rehearsed all its shows. There I was, standing in a studio with the cameras, not the same, obviously, it was all green, but going through all the motions and actions that I'd rehearsed 38 years ago. It was really weird. And yet at the same time, I felt, I've been waiting 38 years to get out of my system. It's been locked up there in that sort of ghastly brain that actors keep and bore their heads, going, oh, let me out. Anyway, it was very good, and I thought they did a really good job with the movement, etc. I'm really happy, and I thought that it was very odd to watch it walk across things, because I thought, how did they get that right? Green screen. There we are. Crispy Pro. Green screen. Don't forget that. Green screen. And what would you consider appearing in the current series? I mean, hello. I mean, yes, like a shot. I mean, I've waited 38 years to go back to Doctor Who, and I'm arriving back as an animated character. Now, wait. I know what you're thinking. Animated character, that's probably right for Daniel Hill. But hang on, come on. I've waited 38 years, so come on, Doctor Who, and come on, Doctor Who fans. Come on, Crispy Pro. Come on. Get Daniel Hill back in Doctor Who. I don't care whether it's 61-year-old Chris Parsons who reappears with the Doctor. Yeah, I want to be back. I listened to Matt Lucas doing his stuff, on the other interview that you had, and Matt's right. Come on. We all wait to be in Doctor Who. I was in it. I'm now going to be part animated. It's time I came back. I don't care how many episodes, but it's time I came back, hopefully, as a full, well, sort of full human being. And then, back in Doctor Who. Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Yes. So the answer to the question is, would I? Yes, absolutely. I love it. I think it's brilliant. And I think it's great that, got a whole new sort of thing going on with Doctor Who as well. It's great. It's really good. Okay, so, and the last question is, how did I come to be with the most beautiful girl in the world? Now, hang on a minute. This isn't one of the Crispy Pro questions at all. Now, you may not realise this. Well, you probably do. Or maybe you don't. But I met my wife of nearly 31 years on SHADA. And my wife is holding the camera as we speak. Olivia Bazalgette, who changed her name to Hill, that's a real come down. She is holding the camera as we speak. And the really weird thing is, there's a sort of screensaver at the back of my phone, which has my children on it, laughing at me. So Olivia is holding the camera. That's how, so Olivia and I, obviously we met on Doctor Who, and she was the PA. But yeah, and we sort of, we were great friends. Nothing happened while we were doing the show. Honest, telling the truth, nothing happened. And later, about 2 years later, I was in a studio back in Television Centre. And I was doing a comedy show called News Time, a pilot for BBC Two. And somebody in the audience had this very loud, raucous laugh, which I thought they'll have to edit that out on the recording when they come to edit it. Anyway, got to the bar in Television Centre, and guess who it was? It was Olivia Bazalgette. And that was it. And we've been together for 34 years. 34 years! Imagine! 34 years she's put up with this old git. 34 years. Yeah, so we're very lucky. And now I'm going to take the camera from Olivia and I'm going to turn it around, and now we'll get the magic of television.
No.
The magic of television. You've gone all dark. It's having trouble. Oh, no, there you are. Wait. Oh, no, you've gone dark again. There you go. No, she's gone dark. Hey. That's my girl. That's my girl. And so we often say, is this real life? Well, I tell you what, when we get the launch out of the way this week of SHADA, that's real life. It's, we're very lucky that we met really on that Doctor Who. And it's fantastic that, we're both seeing completion of a programme that was very, very close to our hearts. And so thank you, Crispy Pro. Thank you, BBC Worldwide. See you soon.